Hello and welcome to my latest career video. Now in this career video, okay, of course I've done a number of heavyweights. I've got the first light heavyweight and middleweight. So I thought it was time to get the first welterweight, okay, before doing a few more heavyweights. And the welterweight I begin the playlist with is none other than the Barbados Demon, Joe Walcott. So let us begin the video, okay, by going to Joe Walcott's main opponents. Now, he fought mysterious Billy Smith, okay, the former two-time lineal welterweight champion, 6 times. Barbados Walcott scoring 3 wins with 1 loss and 2 draws. He also fought those 2 handicapped fights against George Kid Levine, where he was having to strip weight, guarantee knockouts, the whole works. He suffered 2 defeats. He did twice defeat former coloured lightweight champion Bobby Dobbs. And he twice fought former light heavyweight champion George Gardner, okay, winning 1, losing 1 and drawing 0. Next up is the Baltimore Demon, young Peter Jackson, okay. Now Walcott fought young Peter Jackson 5 times, okay, scoring 2 wins with 1 loss and 2 draws, and he defeated Rube Ferns. Next up is Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, the great former light heavyweight. Walcott fought him on 2 occasions, suffering 1 loss and 1 draw, and he also fought and lost, okay, to former coloured heavyweight champion Frank Childs and then former welterweight champion Dixie Kidd. Next up is the mighty Sam Langford himself. After falling behind on points, Walcott rallied from the middle rounds on and really made a fight of it, fighting to a draw with Langford, even though many thought Langford should have got the verdict. He also fought a draw with the old master himself, Joe Gans. Next up is Honey Melody, okay. Barbados Walcott twice fought Honey Melody, who was a good fighter and suffered defeats both times. He did, however, destroy, okay, Hall of Famer Joe Choyinski, and he had a 6-fight series with tough contender Tommy West, scoring 3 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. The final name on slide 1 for Barbados Walcott is former pound-for-pound rater Dan Creedon, okay. Walcott fought him on 4 occasions, scoring 4 wins from 4. So on to the second slide, okay. He fights Charlie McKeever, another very capable fighter with a tough resume. He defeated him, and he twice fought the loop puncher Dave Hollis, scoring 1 win with 1 loss and no draws. Next up is tough contender Jimmy Gardner. Barbados Walcott lost to him, and Walcott fought a draw to former lightweight contender Sam Boland. Next up is Dick O'Brien. Barbados Walcott fought him 4 times, scoring wins in all 4 fights, and he also defeated George Green. Next up is Kid McParland, okay, and Walcott fought him to a draw, and he also fought and defeated Charlie Johnson and Dick Moore, both in singular fights. Next up is Jack Bonner, okay. Barbados Walcott fought him twice, scoring 2 wins, and he 4 times fought Kid Carter, okay, scoring 2 wins with 2 losses and no draws. His resume is actually quite really tough, as well as the Champions Hall of Famers. Pound-for-pounders, he also fought a number of tough or very experienced contenders. He defeated Jimmy Handler and Billy Stift, again, both in singular fights. And he 8 times fought tough middleweight contender Mike Donovan, scoring 3 wins with only 1 loss from the 8 fights and 4 draws. Next up, the Pennsylvania Terror George Cole. Walcott fought him on 3 occasions, scoring wins in all 3 fights. So there's 2 slides down of main opponents, okay. When we go on to the third and final slide of his main opponents, he fought heavyweight contender Sandy Ferguson on 2 occasions, suffering 1 loss and 1 draw, and he also split a trilogy of fights with middleweight contender Larry Temple, scoring 1 win, 1 loss and 1 draw. The final name on here is Black Bill, whom Barbados Walcott lost to. Okay, so there is 75 fights listed there. Barbados Walcott won 39 of them, suffered 20 defeats and scored 16 draws. One thing about Walcott's record, that when I did deep research into his record a number of years ago, is that he had some fights what he was clearly should have been declared the winner, but it was declared a draw. He had other fights where it was declared a draw when he should have won. Okay, and I calculated roughly 9 wins and 9 losses and 9 draws should be removed from his record and put on the win column. And suddenly that makes his record look far, far better. So anyway, okay, that is speculation. I don't work on speculation, but I enjoyed doing the research. So on to, okay, the first of his stat slides now. Barbados Walcott scored 59 knockouts, 28 of them in 3 rounds or less, and 11 in the first round. He also fought fighters, like many fighters in this time period, fighters across multiple weights, sometimes big weight gaps. He had very, very little fear. He scored 3 KOs against champions, 2 KOs against Hall of Famers, and 6 KOs against pound-for-pound fighters. Barbados Walcott, of course, scored no KOs over rated fighters, being pre-rating era. And he scored a total of 1,300 rounds boxed in his career, which for a big puncher is a lot of rounds. He also fought a total of 133 title fight rounds. And in the rounds against champions, Hall of Famers, pound-for-pounders, he fought 344 rounds against champions, just over 200 rounds against Hall of Famers with a total of 204, and over 400 rounds he fought against pound-for-pounders. Barbados Walcott fought more rounds against pound-for-pounders than some modern fighters fight career rounds, with a total of 436 rounds against pound-for-pounders. Again, with the rounds against top 10, top 3 and ring champions, they are zeros due to Walcott's pre-rating era status. So on to the slide against champions. Barbados Walcott had 26 fights against champions, and these were guys who titled anywhere from lightweight to heavyweight. Okay, he scored 9 wins with 10 losses and 7 draws, and he defeated 5 individual champions. They were Mysterious Billy Smith, Bobby Dobbs, George Gardner, Young Peter Jackson, and Rube Ferns. And from those 5 champions Walcott defeated, he scored knockouts or stoppages over 3 of them: Bobby Dobbs, Rube Ferns, and Mysterious Billy Smith. So on to the Hall of Fame category now for Walcott. Okay, he had 14 fights against Hall of Famers, with a record of 4 wins, 5 loss and 5 draw, and he defeated 2 individual Hall of Famers. They were Joe Troinski and Mysterious Billy Smith, and Walcott scored knockout or stoppage over both of them. Okay, Joe Troinski and Mysterious Billy Smith, so 2 from 2. Now on to his biggest category, as you can tell from the rounds boxed, is the pound-for-pounders. Now he had an astonishing 35 fights against pound-for-pound fighters. Now Walcott scored a record of 17 wins with 12 losses and 6 draws, and he defeated 9 individual pound-for-pounders. They were Tommy West, Mysterious Billy Smith, Bobby Dobbs, Dan Creedon, Joe Troinski, Charlie McKeever, George Gardner, Rube Ferns, and Dave Holly. Now from those 9 pound-for-pounders that Barbados Walcott beat, he scored knockout or stoppage over 6 of them, including Dan Creedon, Bobby Dobbs, Joe Troinski, Charlie McKeever, Rube Ferns, and Mysterious Billy Smith. So again, a glittering record in knockouts. He scored knockouts over many of the champions he fought, all of the Hall of Famers he fought individually, and 6 out of the 9 pound-for-pounders he fought. So his knockout record is impressive. Also with nearly 60 knockouts and nearly 30 of them in 3 rounds or less. He was certainly an explosive puncher, and the thing about Walcott is he could even punch and hurt fighters much heavier and bigger than himself. So from there we go on to the record against rated fighters now. Obviously Barbados Walcott is a pre-rating era fighter, so he fought no fights against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters or ring champions, and thus Barbados Walcott defeated no individual rated fighters and scored knockouts over no individual rated fighters. So when we go on to the title record slide, okay, Barbados Walcott had 10 world title fights. He had a record of 4 wins with 3 losses and 3 draws, and the Demon made 5 title defences while scoring 3 title fight KOs from his 4 wins. Now against rated fighters, Walcott has 0 wins against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters and ring champions in title fights. Of course, had ratings been around then, that would have been different. He scored 1 win against a champion in a title fight, 0 wins against Hall of Famers, and he scored 2 wins against pound-for-pounders in title fights. So the Barbados Demon is nearly done. We just have to check out his titles won. Barbados Walcott captured in his career legitimately the world welterweight title. Thus Barbados Walcott was lineal welterweight champion of the world, and he also held distinction as undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So basically, even though he lost the title in those dubious circumstances against Dixie Kid with the referee's wager. He was re-recognised as welterweight champion prior to the Langford fight. The Langford fight was considered for the world welterweight title. Had Langford have won, he would have won one of the original titles. Had he not been overweight, he would have won the lightweight title against Gans. Had the fight gone the same, had Ketchell not been shot, he may have been world middleweight champion. So really, fighters in this time period, when they captured the legitimate titles, because I factor the coloured titles as just as important. Often to me, the coloured titles had much tougher fight runs for the champions. They often mixed in much tougher company. A lot of the time, not all of the time, but an amount of the time they did. Some of the fight runs for the coloured titles were tough and grueling. Long fights, hard fights, fighting great fighters multiple times, really tough fight runs. So Barbados Walcott, did capture one of the legitimate, I'll say not legitimate, the coloured title's legitimate, but you know what I mean. He captured one of the more established world championships, and forever will be in the history books, whereas even now some people choose not to regard the coloured titles, even though, when you look at the newspaper archives, they were advertised as coloured title fights, but modern fans now don't give them much credit a lot of the time, which I think is incorrect and wrong. But there's the video for Barbados Walcott. Okay, he opens my welterweight playlist. I'm up and cooking now, just churn on forever doing them. So I will leave it there. Okay, I'll get him scored in my new top 1000 rankings. So there's the demon. Okay, opening up the welterweight playlist. I'm the boxing librarian, and I'm out for now.